Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome back to the Top Flight Pod. You know what it is. You know what we're here to do. Back in the studio today, beautiful Austin, Texas. I'm with the boys. We got B here to my left. We got Logan, Verde Nation ATX here to my right. We got lots to talk about. Austin FC, the Academy results, and also football in Europe. A lot of stuff went on this weekend. But B, I'll start off with you, mate. How are you this weekend?
I mean, this is a mixed weekend. You know, Austin lost, but América won. They sent Pachuca home. So it's a weird kind of weekend, but we're here to talk about it. So I'm happy to be here with y'all.
Well, I mean, you guys are in the Liga MX playoffs. I don't know what that's like this year, right? But, of course, with the Austin FC stuff, we got a lot to get into. But, Logan, how are you doing, mate? Love the jersey, by the way.
Thank you, man. Yeah, doing good. Good weekend. Had some family in town, Mother's Day weekend, so happy Mother's Day to all the mothers. But, just, never want to see your team lose, but we got a lot to get into.
Now, of course, shout out to our members from Patreon and Discord. We have some questions that we are going to get into in this podcast that we got from you guys. We asked, hey, do you have any questions for the guys on the pod? And, of course, a lot of them had to do with Austin FC, so we'll get into those here in a bit. Some quick news, of course, Sportico, an update on the valuation of Austin FC. They come in at number 6 for the top MLS club valuations. Austin FC at $865 million, number 23 on the overall list. Logan, how'd you see this, mate?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things we know that the club has been investing, but this is just numbers as a whole, as an organization, just everything that goes into this. I think the last time we got these numbers, we were at around 800. So up 65 million. We went down 2 spots, but good to see that we're top, like you're mentioning, top 6 MLS clubs. It's got to say something, you know what I mean?
But I think a lot of like this number, I mean, I feel like it also has to do a lot with the property value. You know,
of course,
you know what I'm saying? Because Austin FC is worth more than some historic teams in Europe when you look at this overall list, and you're like, well, what does it really mean to be worth more than this team? You know
it goes a lot. It's not just about performance or players. It's like, a lot.
Real estate,
literally. Yeah, business, marketing, advertising, everything.
This guy built Q2, so
he did.
That was what I was about to bring up. On top of everything y'all just said, which was great insights, it also, I think, reflects how this city took this club. Like, it's a sellout streak. You see the merch all over the place. Like, you have some devoted, real fans here in the Austin. So that feed into this experience, and it adds to the value of the team as well. So.
I love seeing stickers on the back of cars when I'm like driving. And then we actually had to do some work in Waco recently, and we were like in the Waco area. We were and we had to go to some supply house, or was it Temple? And they had a huge Austin FC flag at an Elliott Electric supply. And I was like, yo, that's awesome.
That's awesome.
That's crazy all the way out here.
I'm seeing it more and more at the gyms too.
Yeah, it's like starting to pop up more and more. And I feel like we have a little bit to, do with that. We're getting the news out to the people, so they can know what Austin FC is going through, if they're doing good, if
grow
they're
the legend.
doing bad.
Grow the legend.
Yeah. Grow the legend, of course. But LAFC coming in at number 1 for MLS clubs, $1.28 billion, 16th overall on the list. Inter Miami, of course, they got to be there. They come in at number 2 at $1.19 billion, 17th on the list. And number 3, LA Galaxy, $1.11 billion. Atlanta at number 4, $1.8. And then number 5, New York City FC, just over Austin FC. They're at $1 billion. And Austin, of course, like we said, at number 6. So very interesting, a little stat there. And before we get into the first team, of course, just a shout out to the young lads, to the young boys at the Academy. They're, of course, participating at Flex. Wanted to read some results here. The U18s, they won 2-1 against Metropolitan Oval. Then we had the U16s. They defeated the Phoenix Rising team 3-2. We also had the U18s again. They defeated the Earthquakes 2-1. You had the U15s in their first game of the competition. They won 3-2 against FC Bay Area Surf. A defeat, though, for the 16s. Unfortunate, 2-1 against Charlotte. They got a good system out there as well, just like us. And then I just got information today. The website isn't updated yet, but We're Austin TV got the update that the boys defeated Montreal. And just to double-check the scoreline, ladies and gentlemen, I even got the goal scorer here. They defeated Montreal 1-0. Ian with the goal.
So out of 6 games, 5 L's in the. Five dubs in 1 L. That's fire.
Shout out to the boys. 100%. Now, shout out to the defense, of course. Lots of guys out there doing their thing. Shout out to the defenders out there for the U15s, the 18s, and of course the attack. they're out there balling, doing their thing, and hopefully the boys bring back something meaningful to Austin from this tournament.
And I wonder who gets the first clean sheet, because, man.
All right, a lot of goals. A lot of goals. We'll see who gets the first clean sheet. But, gentlemen, any other quick news we could throw out there before we get into the first team topics? Anything? I think, I guess the Sportico. Other than that, I feel like we're good, no?
Yeah.
The updated GAM, I feel like we already talked about that. A lot of people already know that we have just underneath 100,000 in GAM, just 91,236.
What can we do? That's it. We emptied it. I mean, what else can we do?
We're just chilling with it.
We emptied it. We emptied it.
We're just chilling with it. We're just hanging out with that GAM. I don't think anything can happen with it, but all right, guys, we can get into it. Now, the way that I structured the pod today, I feel like we can talk about the Cincinnati game first. I feel like it's more fresh on folks' minds. I think that'll be easier to attack also for us, right? The Twitter space that we had last night, it is up on Spotify and also on Apple Podcasts. You can check it out there. Also, it's on Twitter spaces. You can listen to it there as well. To recap it a little bit, Jordan was on there, gave us his take. Tucker was on there, had a crash out moment, mind you, Tucker.
Tucker? Oh,
out moment.
I'm surprised.
Crash out moment.
That's his 4th of the year so far.
We also had Jack on there. Ozzy went off as well. He had a lot to say. Ozzy in English, you know. He's mainly a Spanish speaker, but he still gave his take there in English. A lot of folks love what Ozzy had to say on the spaces and also once before. But you can go ahead and check that out. That's another angle of reaction that you can check out from the Austin FC game versus Cincinnati. But 2-1, loss on the road. And guys, it's 3 defeats in a row in the league. I know we had the Open Cup magic, and we'll talk about that after this. But the Cincy game, it is what it is, 2-1. I got to ask y'all guys, we'll open up with this question. Did you expect Austin FC to win at Cincy, or did you expect this result?
Yeah, given our form, it's hard to say that you're expecting a dub, especially on the road, especially against a team, you know, in this case, an Eastern Conference team where we maybe don't see them as much. I was really hoping that we could get a result, especially, I know we'll get into the match, but when it was 1-1, I kind of would have been okay with the point. But going into it, I don't think that I was, given our form, I don't think I was expecting us to get a dub.
B, same question goes to you, mate. I mean, did you expect this kind of result? It was 2-1. Cincy is a very difficult team. Like you said earlier, we put them into first place with this W. How did you see this?
No, yeah. I was expecting a loss. You know, I was telling Bali Friday before the game, I'm expecting to lose. I would absolutely love if we can get a point away. That would be crazy. You know what I mean? I would be so down for that, I told him. And when the lineup came, are we getting into the thing? I'll bring up the lineup. Like, the lineup came in and we're like, oh, back 5? Okay. And then we were talking about it in the chat, and I was like, I kind of like this approach. Like, let's just hold it down.
Yeah, you were very fond of the
because since he starting off this season well. Right now they were first, but when we played them before the game, they were 4th for the Shield. So they're up there. You know, so they're playing well to start the season. So definitely not expecting a dub, but it took a worldly. It took a worldly to concede that in the first 12 minutes. The whole point is like, let's hold it down. And in the first 12 minutes, your game plan gets like, but
the game plan gets
it's like so now what?
And they showed the graphic too where we were 0-5 when we concede first. So it's like pretty much that first goal has been
the first time we came back was against a Paso. That just happened.
And that's been a key topic in the Nico era. Is like, hey, this team has struggled to come back from these results when they go down.
Okay, but they go down. And after that, things got like, since he had opportunities, obviously, we had some opportunities. Brandon Vazquez had an opportunity. But as far as from the worldly goal, the plan was pretty much ran great. It was up to the point where we conceded. But it was like, okay, good. Mm-hmm. But we conceded, right?
Question for you, since we're on this on this topic, and it's something that I mentioned on the Discord chat. I said, to be down 1-0 is not that bad. To be holding Cincy to the kind of to the goals that we held them to. We were in the game for a huge period of time. When they went up 2-1, it was like a gut punch. I felt like the guys were, you know.
And on top of that, it was a worldly, bro. It was a crazy shot. It was a badass goal, amazing goal, amazing shot. But it took that.
Yes, but what I'm saying is, going into the half, only down 1-0, you come back in the second half. Brandon Vazquez, you know, scores that penalty very early second half. It's game on.
Exactly.
Austin was in the match for for a big period of time.
That was my point.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And for Austin to be able to do that, I felt like that was according to the game plan. That was running in their favor.
The only thing that threw a wrench in this was the goal.
We knew Cincy was going to get one.
Exactly.
We knew they were going to get one at least.
Specifically Evander. I mean, if anybody was going to get it, it was going to be him.
So on top of it being a World League, Stu were having another masterclass game. I mean,
saves.
Like at the end of the day, it all comes down to Stu. Whatever we're talking about doesn't matter if Stu doesn't go off. Like, the reason why we're in the game was because of Stu. I mean, it's just, Bali's take is aging very bad, like milk. You know what I mean? It was probably one of his worst takes this season. And I was hoping he'd come in today, but he's not here.
After El Paso, man.
Bali
Ducking. I'm going to call it right now, ducking.
Bali called in.
Shout out to the all the mothers. It's Mother's Day.
Shout out to
It's a holiday.
Yeah,
He
you're
said
right.
he was with his mom, so.
Now, one stat that Jordan did throw out on the space last night was the fact that Evander has just as many goals as the Austin FC front three, as the Austin FC team,
Damn.
and the second most goal scorer in Cincinnati has one less goal than him. So both of these guys combined make up 13 goals. That's more than we got.
And it shows.
Two guys.
And it shows on the table. It shows on the table for Cincy.
Now, some post-match comments here. John Gallagher kind of is in line with what you're saying, B, and we'll get also comments from Nico. Gallagher says, my initial reaction was that there was a lot of positives. Really disappointed to not get a result. I thought we had some really good moments. And some folks were kind of, agreeing with John Gallagher. Some folks were also disagreeing with him. There's been a lot of back and forth in these recent weeks in the fan base on social media, and I understand it. A quote from Coach Nico, he says, we knew it was going to be very difficult to come here. They were rested the whole week. We played on Wednesday, and then we traveled. Now, the comments on this, they were more active than on the John Gallagher post. I'll read a few. Ozzy, he says, football ratonero, pretty much calling us ratty players, ratty team, the way that we play.
Ozzy's pissed right now.
Ozzy is upset.
This has lasted a little longer than normal.
I'm scared for the Spanish podcast later on today. I think we're going to see Crash Out number 5.
Oh, my God.
But PJ the Great says, LOL, almost lost on Wednesday too. At Mo says, Rodo out. Uneducated Nerd says, Nico out. Ryan Schatzberg says, if not for Owen, we would have lost Wednesday too. And then I'll read just one more. Daniel Puente says, estuvimos por ganar. Dice muchos saques de banda. Que se vaya junto con el que armó el equipo. Translating, he says that we were about to win and we had a lot of throw-ins on the side of the field. He can leave together with the guy that put the team together, talking about Rodo. But folks not happy. Folks not happy with Coach Nico. They want wins. And of course, they're saying that it's more of the same every press conference. But thoughts on these post-match comments?
I mean, I agree with it being most of the same. I mean, it's just a plug game here, and then say this. So, but
do you agree with Coach Nico that of course they knew it was going to be very difficult since he was rested? Austin played midweek. I mean, we have injuries also to in this team right now.
He's not lying.
He's not lying. Of course,
he's not lying. He's got these things, and it does affect somewhat. But those are the things you say when the results aren't going our way. When we're doing. I mean, we're losing, so he's not going to be like, oh, we suck. No, bro.
He's not going to come out and say that. He's not going to come out and say that.
But to Gallagher's point, I mean, I know Nico said this, but on top of what Gallagher said, that there was bright moments and then all that stuff. I mean,
he also said that a draw would have been fair.
Oh yeah,
he said that. You think that a draw would have been fair for Austin?
Not that worldly, bro. I don't think it would have.
Well, there was 2 worldy moments where Evander gets his shot off.
Yeah,
the
assist too.
The assist was nasty.
I mean, I don't want to be biased, but yeah.
Gallagher also mentioned that there were 2 very preventable goals. He mentions that, and we can actually talk about the goals right now because Gallagher's quote goes in line with that. There was conversation around why wasn't Evander being marked, right? And the lineup also plays into this as well. We'll get into the lineup here in a couple of minutes. But the goal that was scored by Evander, mate, there's really nobody around him. Ilya gets there late. You and I noticed that there was a screen set up by Denki. I don't know if it's because maybe we have...
I thought it was Santos.
No, I think it was Denki.
One of them.
One of them. There was a clear screen that was set, though. Yeah. You see it. I don't know if it's from the training ground or if it was something instinctive almost, right? But you see it, you saw it, we called it out, and it worked. Evander, lets off a curling shot, much like Mirtu Uzuni did against El Paso.
Acres of space.
Go in on that, mate.
Yeah, it's, I don't know if, like you're saying, if it was a set play or just a lapse in concentration or just a breakdown defensively. But yeah, a player like that shouldn't have that much space, especially of his caliber. So I understand the feels, thought process of asking, I mean, that has to be on your scouting report, right? So whether or not it was from a set, a play or just a lapse in concentration, that's going to be the difference. We see this team being so strong defensively in the first few games that we played. And then, to have these kind of breakdowns, it's concerning. But I don't know if it's just the difference of just Evander, right? Like maybe it's fair to get a point, but a player like him, I mean, he's going to make those plays if you give him the opportunity.
I understand if there's lucky bounces. I understand if there's a, just small lapse of disconcentration where you lose track of somebody that knows how to make you lose track of him, because that's also an art that you can practice on how to evade the mark, right? But that's one hell of a player to lead by himself. That's one guy. I mean, think about the clearance that Jan Kolmanic has to the center. Nobody's kind of around him. He's 50 yards out the goal, maybe 40 yards out the goal. Sure, he lets off a shot. It goes off the bar, mate. I mean, that's the player we're leaving by himself.
Yeah.
We can't do that. You can't do that, especially when you have a back line of 5, when the main idea is to be defensive. And that's why I was a little bit frustrated with the goal and the assist that Evander is able to get off, because the idea, the instruction, I'm sure, all week was, hey, lock down Evander.
Yeah,
to be. It's just a lap of disconcentration, I guess. I don't know. But any more thoughts on the goal or the assist that Evander pulled off?
No, golazo. Props. When I saw it, I was like, whoa. I was like golazo. So
whoa, like that?
Yeah, I was like, what a shot.
So what do y'all think? I've also heard too where, a lot of people are mentioning like that's a player that was available. Is that a player
you were mentioning?
Yeah, we should like.
I heard some things.
We should have gone for Evander.
We could have. You know what I mean? But I think one of the things that could be said too about some of the moves that we've seen, especially from Rodo, is that he's made a lot of international signings, right? Like we haven't really seen too much of,
local?
bringing on players from within the league. I mean, we see Robert Taylor here recently. We get Ilie Sanchez on the free. But other than that, I mean, it's pretty much been international, players. And I think it takes them a lot longer to integrate, not only just to the league, but just a new country. So I think it would have been nice to kind of go for a player, especially like his caliber, when we're losing a player like Drusi, and then
You know how much they paid for him?
10 mil.
No, Evander for him.
12 mil.
12 mil.
Damn.
12 mil. That's how much Austin FC spent on, Brandon Vazquez, Uzuni. And that kind of goes in line with the question, hey, if he was out there, why didn't we go after this player? I mean, we don't know if maybe we did have contact with him. Maybe we did have contact with him. We don't know, right? 100%. But it's just a little frustrating. If we were in the market and we spent the money, we could have, but it's hard.
It's because we just witnessed he did it to us. Like we witnessed that, and we would like dream of having like a type
but
of
he's
player.
been proven in the league, though. I mean, look at his season with Portland last year.
To be fair, though, Brandon Vazquez also proven in this league
with
Cincinnati.
So I guess the question is,
I
guess the question is whether or not maybe would have been for Uzuni. Like we're talking about spending 12 mil. So I don't know.
Look. We're hype. I think we're hype on him right now because of what he did to us and also the worldie that he scored. So I thought the same thing though, bro. I was like, damn, would love to have him here.
It's not just tonight though. This guy does it.
Yeah,
that's
very
what I'm saying.
That is true. But it was in our face. It was to us.
Or his teams, Portland.
That's what I'm saying.
That's
exactly.
But guys, the lineup. There was a line of 5. I know we kind of touched up on it a bit. We had Kolmanic, Biru, Brandon Hijack, Svatok, Gallagher. Who was the best defender for Austin FC last night? If you can give me one name.
Best defender.
In that back line of 5, who do you think maybe kind of stood out the most? Anybody? Anybody, B?
I mean,
I'll just throw Biru out there.
Biru?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess me too.
I don't think we could say Svatak or I think Hanzai, but I say Biru. Just
the back line of 5, was it the right idea for this game?
It's hard to say. I mean, me looking at it, it felt like we were stuck, to be honest. Like, in my personal opinion, like, watching the game, it just looked like we just couldn't get anything to connect through the midfield. Like, yeah, we were stacked defensively with the back line of 5. And, yeah, it's nice to have Kolmanic starting. I know a lot of people have been calling for him to get some playing time, especially starting. So it's nice to get him. But I just felt like the only way that we were going to get through to the attacking third is just if our back line was sending one over the top or just sending a long ball. We weren't really seeing too much passing through the midfield, and I mean, back 5 is nice, but I just wish we could find a way to integrate, more in the midfield.
Bro, I think it was the right approach. Right. I think he approached it correct, and that's why I would have approached it, honestly. Like, he approached it with like, okay, they're good, but did it work out? I mean, obviously it didn't. We lost the game, but
we were talking about the game plan earlier.
Yeah.
But I guess
I think it was the right approach for me.
The only thing I say with that is that when we noticed when we were overloading the midfield, when we had one of our most offensive games was when we played San Diego. And maybe they had a really high line, but Nico said it himself in that press conference. And yes, we were playing at home, but I liked when we had numbers in the midfield because we were able to get the ball into tight spaces and then capitalize off transition. So it's like when we overload the midfield, that's when we saw this team be very, very dangerous.
But we didn't have the players. I mean, Danny's out. I mean,
that's true.
So
Dessler's out as well, so you lose Gallagher in the offense.
That's
exactly.
True. That's true.
So
I guess like you're saying, the mindset is right to go in the back
we approached it correctly.
Yeah.
We would have probably loved to go at it with Cincy, but I don't feel like he thought we were good to
True.
go at it with him.
That's fair.
If we wanted to have a go, then maybe not approach it this way. Plus, it's away. So I think it was the right point. It just didn't. The game plan wasn't
and also,
executed.
people in the chat, they were saying that this lineup was going to throw off Cincy. They were going to throw. I don't know. I threw off Cincy.
They were gonna throw off like, no, bro. This
Cincy
lineup
came out with the same one too, 5-3-2.
Yeah, but
it was interesting. But real quick, Brandon Vazquez, he was in the attack with Mirto Uzuni, along with Owen Wolff and Brad Stuber. They were the highest rated players. Brandon with the 7.0, Owen Wolff 7.4, Stuber 7.8. But Vazquez, these are former stopping outs from him. It was a very special place for him to revisit. He had to take that penalty. But let's talk about that exactly, the penalty kick. Now, there was a lot of criticism that we saw saying that it was a poorly taken pen, that if the keeper would have gone the right way, that it would have been easily saved. B, how did you see Brandon Vazquez's penalty? To me, it was greatly taken.
No, man, I think it was pretty soft.
Yeah.
I think it was pretty soft. I think it was simple. I mean, he just bet.
What's simple about putting the ball into the back
He
of the
flipped a
net?
coin type deal.
Yeah, he did.
He flipped a coin. He said, I'm going left. And that's it. And if the keeper goes that way, I'm fucked. But if he goes to the right, hell yeah. To me, that's what I saw on the pitch.
And if the keeper guesses the right way, we're not
it's
sitting
over.
here saying that's
It's
a great
over.
penalty.
It's not like if you're telling me he ran up and looked at the keeper and last minute saw that he was diving left and then switched it to the right, maybe. But it was just like a simple, like a kick. It wasn't none of that. I didn't see any of that. I mean,
not with you, mate.
maybe I didn't see it, but as soon as I was like, he was locked and he was taking this pen, bro. As soon as it was pen, Uzuni was in the area.
Yeah.
I mean, I still think Uzuni should be taking him.
But
bro.
look at this.
Especially
Look at
coming
this.
off-
Look at this freeze frame photo right here. The keeper is diving to his right before Brandon takes the kick. Brandon waits to the last second before he sends it to the other side, mate. You got to look at these details,
But
man.
in the
gotta
game,
look at these details,
in the game,
mate.
I'm not gonna pause it right there. Play it from the beginning. He was already decided, bro.
No, mate. The Brandon Vazquez, he doesn't send the keeper the right way, but he waits.
He's decided.
Lo
There's no
aguanta.
hesitation. There was no
Wait.
hesitation.
You guys just
Lo
need to give this
aguanta.
guy credit.
Maybe lo aguanta. I agree with that. Maybe he holds him on, but it was soft, bro.
B, once you see the keeper go the wrong way, you can walk it into the net. And we've seen so many players perfect that technique where they wait to the last second and they just waltz the ball into the back.
I want to
of the
see.
net.
I want to see Uzuni take the pens.
You know what I mean? Those kind of penalties where they wait, the keeper dives, and he's done.
Yeah.
Walking into the net.
I just guess I say it was weak because what we saw the last time he took a penalty.
The same thing. It was the same thing.
But my mentality is like,
mate.
if that was me coming up to redeem myself, I'm not going to try to take another chance like that. Just
Yeah,
like
he did
we
the
don't
same
have-
thing.
That's what I'm
Hey,
saying.
bro, you gotta
like-
just put it to the back of the net.
and
mate.
these are guys that probably did this on the training ground. That's something they pointed out on the broadcast.
I wanna
It's
see-
he used to train with this keeper.
Now-
So
I want to see Uzuni, bro. I'm telling you.
I want
He
to
was
see
ready
Vinto
too.
take
He
one
was
out.
ready.
Yeah,
Like you
it
said, he
should, bro. Brandon said hell nah.
But if
Of course Brandon's taking
if
this.
this
Brandon said hell nah.
if
This is
this is
mine.
in Cincinnati, you think maybe Uzuni gets a chance, or you think?
What do you
I
mean?
don't know.
What do you mean?
Like if they change penalty kick takers? I don't
because
think
it's
yet.
Cincinnati, you think maybe it's like, okay, Brandon, get you know.
No. I think Brandon is still the penalty kick taker.
Okay.
And if Brandon would have missed this one, I think he would have been off them.
You think he would have, bro? He
I
would
think
have been
so.
off, bro.
Now,
I still want to see Uzuni, bro.
Not many chances created for the strikers. Only 11 shots. 2 of those were on target for Austin FC. Well, 11 shots, only 2 of those were on target for Austin FC. One of them was an Ilya Sanchez shot that was kind of lofted into the keeper's hands. Not very dangerous at all. But concerns, guys, from the attack again in Cincinnati? Or was this just a case of, just the guys tried, as Nico says, and they created chances, Concern?
Yeah. I mean, we have nothing we can do but be patient and continue waiting. I mean, you can be concerned it's not clicking, but I personally don't know what the solution is going to be. Ilya has come out and straight up said it's about getting them chances, creating more opportunities, and but then they get chances and then they're not finishing. We see Uzuni be one-on-one with the keeper and make questionable decisions. So I just don't know what it's going to take. Am I concerned? Obviously, yes, but am I giving up? I mean, nah, I don't think so.
Some people don't like the XG narrative, but Austin's XG was 1.97. I mean, Cincinnati's was 2.3.
And we had a chance like very, very early in the game.
Very close.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's just a matter of if we can capitalize on those, the narrative of the game is different. If we go up 1-0 in the third minute, I mean, does this team have a different kind of confidence to them?
Now, B, I want to ask you, mate, are people sounding the fire the coach alarm bells way too soon? Because folks were already hitting social media with Nico out. Folks were already sounding that. I mean, is this way too soon?
People wanted the Wolff out for like halfway through the first season.
Bali wanted it in the first 5 games of year one.
So I'm not like surprised. I mean, of course, this is pressure mounts up. People are going to talk and say things like it is 3 defeats in a row in the MLS is not good. All the luck that we got away with in the beginning of the season, wondering why we're in the positions that we're in, is being erased right now as we speak. So we're in a downward trajectory, whether we have a good game or not. Like, I think the approach was good. I think the plan was a good plan. Did it work? No. But we had some chances that we didn't bury them. That's the story literally of the entire season. The entire season, the main story is couldn't finish our chances. So we saw more of that. Since he's also a good team, I could say it's not like I want to sit here and make excuses for the team and like, oh, we'll move on. No, a defeat is a defeat. I'm not saying this is okay. A draw, I think, would have been fair. I think to me, a draw would have been great. But
now, I want to talk about Atlanta. That's the game that is coming up next for Austin FC in this very, very busy month of May.
The busiest.
What will Austin FC do? There has to be more rotation. I mean, Brandon Vazquez was subbed off kind of early. You'd think that they're, resting him for these games that are coming up. Austin doesn't have much options in the attack with some key players out like Dani Pereira and Gallagher being sacrificed to be used in a defensive position until we wait for Mikel Dessler to be ready to go to help his team try to get these results. But we also have to mention, and I know that a lot of people don't like it when I say this, but the weather is going to be a factor on Wednesday. Why? Because we're expecting 105-degree weather in
106.
Austin, Texas on Wednesday. The game is at 7:30.
Yeah.
It could be pushed back to 8:30. I've seen it being pushed back because of the weather here. Expect water breaks for this game. It could affect the attendance. And Ozzy said last night in the space that the 12th man is going to matter in this match. Who's the 12th man?
It's us.
The stadium.
The fans.
The stadium. So how is that going to affect the team on Wednesday? And also, I want to mention that Dessler, we need him back as soon as possible. I don't know if he will be available for Wednesday's game. I think he still has to, kind of get going to full speed in training. But like I mentioned earlier with Gallagher being sacrificed, freeing Mikel Dessler, that also liberates John Gallagher. I'm sorry, with the return of Mikel Dessler, it liberates John Gallagher to go into the attack. And also, just real quick, last thing I'll say is that Atlanta United is currently in 14th place of the Eastern Conference. They have 10 points. They are a struggling team. And John Gallagher said it in post-match press conference. He says, we get to play a struggling team on Wednesday. It's going to be a dogfight. So, B, what kind of mindset are you going into this midweek game with?
I mean, I agree with those words. I think it is going to be a dogfight. I think they're down bad, and they want to get out of this funk. And we're trying to not keep going down the slippery slope that we are. So I think I agree. It's going to be like a fight.
It's going to be a dog
It's going to be a dog fight. And then 105 is, or 105, 106. I mean, it's going to be hot, brother.
And that's at like 5 p.m.
Yeah.
That's not even like at noon. That's like at...
Yeah, it's going to be hot.
It's going to be like 101 when the game starts.
So... And that's going to be a major factor. I know it is. It just is, So it's going to be a tough one. Honestly, it's going to be another tough one, bro. It's going to be another tough one.
Dog fight, just like Gallagher said. But Logan, thoughts on the Atlanta game that's coming up? It's their first time coming to Q2.
Yeah.
That's going to be something that's going to be talked about. It's not going to affect the game too much, but a detail: Atlanta plays indoors, but they train outside. So I don't know how much the heat is going to affect them. But I know that Austin FC is going to have some players that are not going to like that weather. Yeah. I know that for a fact.
No kidding. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely going to be an interesting matchup. Atlanta has quality players. I mean, when you pointed out that they're in 14, I did not know that coming into this. They lost last 4 out of their 5 matches, too, so their form isn't the greatest. But, I mean, they also spent record-breaking signings on Latte.
They have that guy Latte, yeah. We got to keep an eye on him.
20 mil, so it's like I could just see, like, Austin FC's historically been the team to kind of get other teams going, so I could also see them having like a royalty too. But, I don't know. Atlanta is the first time we're playing them at Q2, so hopefully we can
get a results out of it. But yeah, the weather is going to be tough regardless of whether they train indoors or outdoors. That's going to be, like you were mentioning, for our own players too.
So we were first when we went to Cincinnati. We were first time there in Cincy, and
Correct.
now Atlanta's gonna be the
5-0.
first time here.
Yeah, because we beat Cincy when they came to Q2 at 5-0 at the beginning of 2022. Remember?
Oh, but you're saying when we went over
When we
there.
went over there, it was our first time up there.
Oh, really?
To Cincy,
Okay.
if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
It was
that's
our
what
first
I
trip
heard.
up there.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Now, 1 win in 5 in the last 5 for Austin FC. So, gentlemen, I mean, what are the probabilities that Austin smacks a struggling team? Because they
I
were able
wouldn't
to
say
do it
smacks.
to the Galaxy, right? They were able
Yeah.
to do it to the Galaxy. This is a struggling team, ATL.
Did we smack the Gallery?
No.
The
We
Galaxy?
didn't smack the Galaxy. But do you think that Austin FC is going to be able to pull it off?
I don't think there's going to be no like smashing, but because we're at home, I would think that they could pull it off. But it's just going to be, to me, such a fight that it could go either way. I mean, it really could. It might, but we're at home. Like, we should be the ones coming out with the 3 points. It has to be.
At least Austin has a win in their last 5. Atlanta has no wins in their last 5. They're on 4 losses and 1 draw. Their next match is Austin FC. Of course, we can't let them get that W that they're desperately looking for.
Yeah.
But like Logan said, we're like, if you want to pick me up, we're who to play.
Exactly.
Very similar form, though. Very,
Score
very similar.
prediction for ATL, Logan.
I'm going to say we'll just go with what we've been seeing. We're going to get a 1-0 scrape by. We'll get a goal, and fairy tale comes true. We beat them.
B, score prediction for that one?
2-1 Austin.
2-1 Austin.
Yeah.
Okay, so we don't keep a clean sheet,
Yeah.
right? But you get to score 2 at least, right? And then right after that, guys, it's also important to note that it does not get any easier. Austin FC has none other than Vancouver coming up to Q2. So 2 home matches back to back. At least that's one thing to look forward to, right? But it's against top competition and, of course, a struggling Atlanta United side. So we'll see what happens. You know what? I'm just going to throw it out there. I say a 1-1 at Q2, Austin versus Atlanta. They're going to hopefully be saving their Jets against Vancouver at home. And we're going to see some rotation. And
hopefully.
I want to pose a question on this game before I move on to the next topic. Ervin Torres has 2 more call-ups available, right? With the Dani Pereira injury, right, and the Savovic kind of worry that we have about the weather that is coming up, you think this game against a struggling Atlanta is a moment where you could use young Ervin Torres?
Yeah, I mean, if we're going to be completely honest, I thought we would get some minutes out of him last game versus Cincinnati. I mean, he's quality. I mean, especially like you're saying, we're thin on numbers. I mean, we don't have the luxury to say, oh, you can't help us. So, I mean, yeah, if anything, Dubrsarski, we gave him some minutes. I don't know. What do I think is going to happen? I mean, maybe not. Would I like to see it at this point? Yeah, might as well.
It depends on the game. Like if we're either up 1-0, something like that, nah, man, I don't know. It's tough.
Hard to say, right?
It's hard to say because, but I would love to see him get some minutes. Like this is now the time. Like last year, he got some minutes last year. Was it last season?
Yeah, but
I know. Yeah, but when we said about him at that time was like, yeah, this is a position where we could use. This is where if you want to open it, like for the academy, the people at his level, like to make a breakthrough to the team, this is the position that we're in dire need of. So he's the next up, and I'm always down to give Young an opportunity. Like I say, throw him in there, but we need those 3 points. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know, brother.
This is the time of year to do it though, because it's so congested. I mean, we have to.
I posed that question on the space also, and I said this. I was like, if we're ever going to use Ervin, we need to find out what his level is in MLS. And if I make memory, I feel like against Colorado, he held his own. I feel like he came in and he knew what the level was.
Is this not a hot take, but is this like a weird take to say that this is the best opportunity at this very moment for him like right now? The way the team is doing
And injuries.
He still has 2 call-ups
at
left.
home. The weather. He's here.
He's
you know,
from Laredo.
He's from there. You
he's
go.
From the, bro, it doesn't get hotter than that.
It doesn't
G.
get hotter than that. So literally, right now is his biggest opportunity right now.
Yeah.
So
Well, we'll see.
And I'm down. Let's give it to him.
I'm down too.
Now, guys, I do want to talk about the Austin FC versus El Paso game that happened, the Open Cup match. Austin FC rallied from behind to win the match 3-2 after being down 2-0. Now, the lineup definitely had some surprises in it. We had Cleveland in there, Rubio, Dubrsarski, but we kind of expect the rotation in that as well. We had talked about it leading up into that match. A tale of 2 halves. The first half was absolutely atrocious. It was disgusting football from Austin FC. Austin-born player Beto Avila with the brace for El Paso after being rejected by Austin FC. I bet those 2 goals tasted so sweet for the local boy that was denied by his hometown club. He did have a spell with Austin Bold, so he enjoyed some football there with something related to Austin, but we've seen him bounce around from Charleston Battery to Houston Dynamo programs to the USL with El Paso. So a very interesting night for Austin-born player Beto Avila, who got that brace. And 2 great goals. The first one, he takes on 2 or 3 Austin FC players. Julio Cascante, I hate to say it, but he's left behind in the dust. Can't do anything in that goal. And Cleveland, he's defeated at his post. That you cannot have that happen for a goalkeeper. At least cover your post. If you get curled, I understand. But your first post, that's an automatic no if somebody takes a shot. The second one, silly header by Brandon Hines, like to just head the ball down into the path.
I don't think it was a header.
It was a header. He puts his head down to it, and it's into the path of Beto Avila, who pulls off a half volley kind of strike, but the fault also kind of falls to Seth Cleveland there, who has somewhat of butterfinger hands there. The ball just kind of makes contact with his gloves, but it goes into the back of the net. Halftime happens. The boos soar Q2.
They were loud.
And the team is lucky there was a few people because it wasn't packed.
It wasn't packed, and I'm down to say it on record. Loudest ever boos at Q2 Stadium. Louder than that Wolff out.
Only boos to Austin FC.
Yeah.
Ever at Q2.
Ever.
I was shook
Ever.
when I heard it.
I look, I'm at every game.
Yeah.
Since this club has been around. Like, loudest boos. The second loudest was currently before was when the Wolff out the whole. Mm-hmm. This was way louder than that.
This was different.
This was different because it was the entire stadium. It wasn't just the south end saying boos, and that. And then the stadium being like, what's going on? Yeah. People that are there just for, my family gave me tickets to go check it out. They don't understand what's going on. So the south end boos. Nah, it wasn't like that this game, bro.
Right.
Everybody was like, what are we watching?
Yeah.
It was boos. I was like sitting there like, what?
And Austin was down 2-0, but they could have been down 3.
Nah,
it could have been down 3 because 1 goal was called back for offside.
Yes.
One goal was called
bro,
back.
I felt sick to my stomach, bro.
Yeah, bro.
I was already thinking how we were going to survive the bullying from social media.
Yeah.
I was worried.
You know what this feeling reminded me of? It reminded me of the Violette game. Like the feeling I had, just like, bro, I was sitting there just like at a daze, just like,
I was pissed. No,
bro,
I was watching it with Logan, with Diego's brother, and Ozzy. We were livid, mate. We were livid, bro.
The vibes were immaculately low.
It was, and we had good seats. We were down below at the half field. There was a moment where I yelled at Hader. I was like, Hader, vamos. And Hader looked at me and I was like, oh shit. I was like, damn, I think he was going to hear me. But I was like, come on, Hader. I was just trying to get him. I was trying to rally him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But what was going through your mind in that first half, man?
Nah, it was tragic, man. That was we've been arguing a lot about worst performances and things like that, but we're talking about a USL side going down 2-0 at your home.
They had the momentum coming into this match.
They came in off a 3-0 win, like you're saying, and
Hattie?
They looked relatively good. I mean, they looked like a team that knew how to play together.
Bro.
Their passes weren't the greatest. You could definitely see the difference between the level, but
unfortunately, they only had gas for one half.
That's another thing you pointed
out
out too. It's like if they didn't run out of gas, this game could have really been really ugly.
Man, sorry.
Go ahead.
I just wanted to touch up what stood out to me is like El Paso. You could tell them boys know each other,
They
bro.
had nothing to lose.
Yeah, exactly.
Them boys know each other, bro. You could tell the way that they passed around. Dude, I'm not gonna lie, bro. In the first half, they were running circles on us, bro.
Yeah, bro.
They were running circles on us, and it was unacceptable watching that.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Let me add this.
Hold on, but let me finish my point. It's just like the point is that these boys, you could tell that they're buddies. They're like, we didn't see that in us. Like we're lacking the chemistry. We don't know each other. That's why Ozzy said, let's go to Chuck E. Cheese. Let's go take an ayahuasca trip. Like,
You know
so
what I was about to say? I was about to say everything that Ozzy said, and
It's
El
on-
Paso, they do all
They
that.
do.
go to
Yeah,
Chuck E.
they stay at Chuck E. Cheese. Yeah,
They're
so-
on WhatsApp sending memes to each other. They're doing that.
And it hurt because
That's
we
so
were
true, bro.
trying
Good point.
so hard. Like you said, that, we were like scrambling. Like,
The boys
and the
were
boys
trying.
were hustling. It was supposed to be the other way around. Like, you know what I mean? We're supposed to be the ones. But yeah, I get your point, B. Definitely. They definitely had all
they
the
ran
chemistry.
circles on us, bro.
I
It was
love being
crazy
so close
watching
to
that.
the pitch where I could see the expressions in the players. They were frustrated. They were mad. They were going in 100%. and they were getting
Yo,
just outclassed, bro.
Is that the lowest point ever?
I mean,
Bro, down
Okay.
0-2 USF
Yeah.
at
Okay.
home.
Halftime of this.
It was halftime, bro.
Okay.
It was halftime. A game
Right.
is two
Okay.
halves.
But listen. Let me see. When the ref blows the whistle, that is halftime. Is that our lowest point?
I think so, bro.
it's one of the
Okay.
lowest ones. 100%.
No, I think so.
I think it's
bro.
our lowest point, bro.
it's one of the. It's one.
I
of.
think. It's recency
good
biased.
question. It's a good
Recency
question.
biased, but
It was bad, bro.
It was
Especially our
so
format.
bad.
Now, let's talk a
It
little
was
bit.
so
Let's talk a little bit about the second half because we have to. Nico makes subs. He takes off Hader for Bukari, Taylor for Rubio, and then later on we saw Nico Tubersarski come out for Ilya Sanchez, Savovic come out for Owen Wolff. And when Owen Wolff comes on, he unlocks Brandon Vazquez. He kind of helps Mirtu Uzuni get his going away by getting Brandon Vazquez going. He had that mojo going, that chest, bringing it down with his chest to play it to Mirtu Uzuni. That's skill that is acquired from a hold-up kind of play striker that Brandon Vazquez is. But Owen Wolff, mate, was I not calling for Owen Wolff when we were sitting down?
Yeah, you were.
I was
You
like,
definitely-
mate, 15 minutes before he came on, I was like, where's Owen Wolff?
Where's Owen?
I need Owen right now.
Yeah.
But talk about him a little bit. I mean, how much did he affect the game when he came on? I feel like he did a lot.
Yeah, he did, and I know that we had to rotate, but I definitely thought it would have been somebody that would have got minutes to start on this one. He's been playing a crazy amount of minutes as well, but yeah, it's exactly like you said. When he came in, you could just tell that the momentum just switched. But he didn't come in. I don't think he made any changes at half. Right? It was like at the 60th minute or so.
Let me double
so,
check
But
that.
yeah, but when he came in, like you said, it just the assist that he got to Brandon, like the last one off the head, or just like he quality player. Man.
No, B, thoughts on Owen Wolff?
no, bro. Like it's not like a surprise or to want to call this game speaking. He's our best player is what I'm trying to say, bro. Like he's been our best player. Like the game screamed for the guy to get. It's on his shoulders essentially to have some fluidity to connect the defense to the offense.
Yeah.
It's literally his job, his position. Like sure, he's a little bit offensive. He can be a little more loose, but it has to go through him if we want to get this going. So we needed him, and he's been our best player in my opinion. I mean, I love Owen Wolff. I love him, and this team is in a downward trajectory right now. But if we want to do something to change this, he has to play a very important role.
Yeah.
So, we just need to get going, man. It's tough right now. We're in bad times right now.
It's tough being without Danny too.
And also, Danny, another something else out. It's just.
No, I think he did make those subs at the half, mate. If I'm not mistaken, I feel like he did. Because he said that he told Hader. Well, Coach Nico says that he told Hader that he was sorry about having to take him off because it's not that he was playing bad, but that it was a change that he had to make. But for some reason, football is not showing it to me. And the lineup to come out, it was Uzuni, Rubio, Obrion, and Vázquez to lead the attack. In the midfield, you had Dubersarski and Savovic. In the midfield, and then in the back, it was Kolmanich, Hindsight, Cascante, and Gali, and in goal, Stefan Cleveland. And
No, he made 1 at the half and 3 at the 60th.
okay,
Yeah.
appreciate it, B. Thank you. All right, but moving forward, we are in the round of 16. Austin FC, they will face Houston Dynamo at home at Q2. Now, early predictions for this game, I have to get them for you guys. Just to mention some quick things. Houston and Austin recently played in Houston. Austin lost 2-0. We were there. Houston beat Phoenix Rising 4-1 in extra time to get to this spot, round of 16. Houston is currently 14th in the West as we speak. And most recently, they just lost to Seattle 3-1 in league play. So Austin will play 2 down bad teams in a very short period of time. Talking about Atlanta
That don't matter.
and Houston.
Yeah, literally.
That don't matter. That don't matter.
But Logan, predictions for this round of 16 game coming up for Austin.
It's gonna be a tough one, especially given the most recent result to Houston. Yeah, we'll be home. Yeah, they're low in the table, but it's gonna be tough to give a prediction. Obviously, I want to see this team move through. So I do think if we get a result, I'll just say 1-0. We scrape by.
Okay. B, early prediction for
Just
this
to
game?
predict, I mean, I give it a 1-0 we win. But it's just, I don't want to come in here on the mic and say, oh, it's a derby, this and that, because you know what opened my eyes when we played Houston away? The players don't reciprocate that.
Maybe they do now.
No, I doubt
After
it.
the
Doubt it.
reaction,
No,
after those fan reactions.
So I'm not gonna say that the team is gonna come out because it's a derby. No, I'm done saying that. I'm done saying that, bro.
Fair,
right? Until I see it on the pitch,
Fair,
I won't say it. But it's at home. The fact that it's Houston, it's the fact that it's a U.S. Open Cup, the fact that it's a round of 16. I think it has all the pieces to be a very, very important game. And I'm telling you right now, whether they see it or not, if we lose against Houston in the U.S. Open Cup to crash out, that dub is valued twice as much.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry, that L, it has two weights.
Yeah.
It's a multiplier on that L. I'm
Now,
telling you right now.
The boys have to be thinking, hey, win one, complete. Onto phase 2. And it's just a couple of games to lift this trophy. We're talking about the Open Cup. So if you got one, got to get that second
I
one.
mean,
and
if we
keep this
beat
momentum
Houston, we're
going.
in the quarterfinals.
Yeah, 100%. And your team is just going to get healthier. You get Nico Dessler back. You'll get Danny Pereira back. You'll get Robert Taylor back. And we'll see where this team is at. Like I told Bali, we got enough soccer to last until October.
We need everybody back.
So we can't cast any final conclusions just yet. That's what I was trying to tell Bali.
And he was wrong on the Stuber take.
He's very wrong on his stupid take.
Yeah.
Now, I want to ask you guys, last thing on this Open Cup, topic. Are you proud of the win against El Paso? Are you beating your chest or are you humbly taking this dub?
No, I'm just happy we got a dub. I'm not beating my
I'm not
chest
even, like-
at all.
Okay.
I take the dub, but I'm not even happy about it.
You're not-
Are y'all proud of it?
No.
You're not
no.
proud of it.
I'm proud of
Honestly,
moving on to the next round, but the dub itself, it didn't even feel like a win.
Nah, it was, we were so bad that just coming back 3-0 was like the most bare minimum thing.
So is this a classic game for
Look,
Austin FC? Is this
Oh
is this
yeah,
a classic match?
yeah. This is an instant classic.
It's an
Instant classic for sure. The people. I want to say it's good. I'm glad you brought this up because I wanted to say this because for a game to make it a classic doesn't necessarily mean we win. Doesn't necessarily mean
it does mean you win.
it does not.
Yes, it does.
No, it does not.
A classic match can't be one you lose.
It could It could be.
No,
it doesn't.
no.
For the game to be certified a classic, it doesn't matter where the dub is. It's the fact that it's a memorable, meaningful game.
Interesting take. Okay.
It's a game that's gonna stick for you when 10 years on the line. You're like, remember that game? Yeah.
But even if it was an L,
team.
I mean, it
even if it
depends
was
on
an
the
L?
type of L. If it's a classic worthy L, like let's say we're up.
What's a classic Chelsea L? What's a classic Chelsea L?
Well, you're putting me on the spot, but I say a classic L would be this, right? We're up 4-0. And they come back and beat us 5.
You'll always remember that. Yeah,
Yeah,
you'll
exactly.
always remember
Classic.
that.
Instant classic.
I don't know.
Bro,
I don't know.
look,
That's a
you're
classic.
missing
You
my
know what I'm
point.
saying?
No, you're missing my point. The point is that it
No,
doesn't
I know
have.
what you're saying, but I don't know if classic is the right term to classify that. Classic is like, I don't know, like whenever you think of classic as like a classic song is something that's always going to be good, like Billie Jean,
Okay.
Michael Jackson.
Okay, I see
Beat It.
I see your
You
angle.
know what I'm saying? Like
Okay.
those are classic hits.
Classic. Okay, I get it, but okay, I see your angle.
Yeah.
But what I interpreted,
you're saying. I
what
know
I'm
what you mean.
interpreted classic
Yeah.
is something that's gonna stick with you. Like
Yes.
that's never gonna go away. Like
Yeah.
you'll never forget this game.
Yeah.
I guess classic isn't the right word.
The classic isn't the right term for an L.
What would you name it then?
It's just a memorable match.
Nah, it's a classic. It's a classic, bro. It's a classic, bro.
But okay, just last thing.
Speaking of classic,
Nobody is proud of the win. Nobody's proud of the win.
No, I'm not.
I'm proud we moved on, but the
I'm not.
performance.
You're proud we moved. You're proud they moved on, bro. No, You
I
can't.
was proud of the team not giving up, rallying, knowing that they had no
Okay.
other option.
There
They
was
had to
no
come back.
power
and
in
they
this
completed
game,
the
bro.
comeback. It was a comeback. That's
Yeah.
what I'm proud of. I'm proud of the comeback. I'm happy that the boys came back. They
It's
had to.
tough
They had
for
no
me.
option, and they
We could have
did it.
easily
It's
crashed
tough
out.
for me.
Could have easily crashed
It
out,
could have
but we
been.
didn't.
It could
But
have.
we didn't.
We didn't.
And that's one point that I had that I kind of wanted to make today. Folks are mad that Austin FC went through. They would have been mad if Austin FC didn't go through. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like
literally.
it
No,
really
no,
was.
you always want their team to go through.
But folks out there,
The performance.
But you know what I mean. There's folks out there that are upset that Austin FC went through because of the way that they played. Hey, we went through.
Look, bro.
I'm proud of the guys. They came back.
The
They
way
came
Houston
back.
beat Phoenix, we should have beat up Paso.
100%, 100%. It wasn't extra time though. You gotta put
3
context
goals
on
in
that.
extra
In
time?
anybody can score 3 goals in extra time because the team is gassed.
I
The
mean,
team
I'm not
is
gonna
absolutely
feel
gassed in extra
anything
time.
positive leaving that stadium, bro.
Madrid went a Champions
bad,
League
bro.
with Atletico 1-1. They scored last minute header and they scored 3 goals in extra time. Ronaldo scored a penalty. Marcelo scored one as well. They won the game 4-1.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So in extra
Yeah.
time, the whole team is gassed. I
Bale
don't put too much
scored one,
value
yeah.
in that. Bale scored in that
The
game as
header.
well. Thank you.
Assist by
Yeah.
Di Maria.
But you see what I mean? In extra time, everybody's gassed already. So you got it's. You know what I mean?
I guess, bro. It's just tough to say. It's
The
tough,
recent
bro.
Champions League game, Inter Barça, how many goals were scored? I mean, the game winning one was scored in the extra time. 'Cause
Yeah.
Everybody was gassed and shit. But yeah, I know what I mean. Anyways, but guys, I think that kind of caps the Austin FC conversation. Big games coming up. It doesn't stop there. May will be difficult. Of course, we have some questions that we can get into here real quick. Ari Silva says, with a third of the season gone and results not coming and seeing the defense falling apart, and Nico talking about non-existing marking of opposing players during pressers, are any of you alarmed yet? You agree with Nico that hoping for better results and doing the same thing is what we should be doing? I feel like we talked about that a little bit earlier, but just to re-answer one more time, the question from Aries.
I mean, I don't think necessarily that we're hoping and waiting for the same, because one thing we saw with Wolff a lot is that tactically things didn't change. We kept doing the same thing. Nico, one thing we're seeing about him, he's doing a lot of research, or talking about a lot of studying. Even right now, he in the press conference, he's like, I'm excited to start watching Atlanta and switch up. We just came out with a back five. That's the first time, you know what I mean? So he's changing things up, but yeah,
he's doing this.
He's doing his part in trying, but like, yeah, it's getting old. Like, just as far as
alarmed or not yet?
It's alarming, but not to the sense where we need to pull the plug. I'm not there yet.
Okay. Damn, pull the plug is.
But we're saying people Nico out. You know what I mean? There's a lot of people already.
People are saying fly the plane.
People are saying worse than Wolff.
Yeah, people are saying
That
worse
is
than Wolff.
absolutely wild.
That's crazy.
I heard someone say they want Wolff back.
Who was that?
I heard that in this room.
Yo, we're gonna have to cut that. We're gonna have to cut that, bro. Next topic, bro.
Okay, next question. George says, how many points do y'all believe we would get for the remaining May games? I think only 4 points, TBH.
How many games we got left? 6?
So I'll pull up the calendar right here. So with the Atlanta one, you have a chance to get 3, 6, 9, 12, 15 points from the 5 games.
4 is a good
remaining.
shout.
You have 5 games left, 15 points that you can get. How many points do you think Austin FC will get?
I think we
Atlanta, Vancouver, Minnesota, Ross Salt Lake,
I know I
San
said
Diego.
a win against Atlanta. Maybe we scrape a draw. That's at least 1 point. I don't think we're beating Vancouver.
We're not getting anything from Vancouver.
Minnesota's just gave us the work not too long ago. We're also I haven't seen too much from them. Maybe we can catch a dub there. Yeah, I think 4 is a good shot.
I say 6.
Yeah, 6.
I say 6.
I say 4.
I say 6.
But 6 is how many? Well, that's too much math.
I say 6, but
Was
with
that 2
very
draws
few
and-
wins.
2
With
draws
very
and,
few wins.
No, that's 2 dubs.
Oh, two
2 dubs or
I say we beat Ross Salt Lake at
a
home.
dub and 3 draws.
I say we tie against Atlanta,
That's
lose
what I'm
against
thinking.
Vancouver.
I think we
get a draw against Minnesota.
You think so on the road?
Beat Ross Salt Lake.
And draw San Diego.
Draw or lose against San Diego. Probably lose against San Diego. I'm putting an L in between these 2 games.
We already beat
That's
San Diego
5.
once, though.
Yeah,
but they're
you
gonna have
can't-
Chucky this time.
Yeah, it's true. That's true.
Hopefully,
And
I
we'll
mean-
be
I
away.
say 4 is a good shout. I say 4.
4 is a good shot. I say 6.
Yeah,
I say
6 max.
Damn.
Now, Bunsen Ben says, if we lose to Houston at home in the U.S. Open Cup, then I'll be much more alarmed and I'll see the red lights. Right now, my senses are very heightened. I think this is an answer to Aries' question. Yeah, I think it is.
I mean, if we
Sounds like an
lose
answer.
to Houston and Open Cup,
No, I said that L is times
619 by 512, my G Jake. He says, why do we see Brandon Vazquez and Uzuni continue to get starts despite their run of bad form while Bukari will have matches starting on the bench?
2. Because Bukari's got to replace, like, someone could step in for Bukari. Like,
You got CJ?
nah, see, that's not going to happen.
No?
No.
I don't think so.
So, and also,
That's why Gallagher needs to
also
be freed up.
those are the guys. Like, they
Robert
have
Taylor
those.
also just went down too.
Exactly.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
So we're not. That's why we're seeing Bukari on the bench. But my personal opinion on that is like we gotta play these guys. Uzuni, Brandon, they gotta get going. It's not like just bench them and we'll play. No, they gotta figure it out. They can't just sit and be like, all right, well, I can't. I don't know. I'm gonna sit down now. No, we have to figure it out. We have to unlock. We have to get the confidence going. We have to have you score goals. So I say they keep starting, bro.
Ozzy says, who's guilty of Nico Estevez? Is Rodo guy? Is AP guy?
That's AP's guy, 100%.
That's AP's guy?
That's
Nico?
100%.
Nico.
You sure?
I think so.
Is
bro.
it AP's guy or Rodo's guy? I think it's
Oh, I
Rodo's
see.
guy.
You think it's Rodo's
I think
guy?
it's Rodo's guy.
But there's an angle to it because he is tied in with the U.S. men's. Like he was assistant to and AP is all involved in
The
that.
Discord votes say otherwise.
And-
Discord is voting AP.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Discord voting AP.
I'm a side with Logan and the Discord. I think it is maybe an AP signing.
I say Rodo. Rodo went out to get Nico.
And
apparently,
also
in the pressers.
Rodo straight up said,
he's gonna
I
say
didn't
that.
know who he was. You know what I mean? So I mean, maybe out of the
Maybe he was influenced by
exactly.
AP.
Hey, we'll see. Remember,
We'll
Nico's
never
on a
know.
short contract. For sure, AP approved. Obviously, we see. But
I'm
AP,
sure, maybe he said, "Come on, do it. This guy."
well, I don't know. I don't know.
Maybe we got him on a discount.
I don't know,
Maybe.
man.
You
I
know,
don't know.
maybe.
But look, but
lot
I
of
tell you
money
what, these
spending,
questions are being posed now. Like
Yeah, we're at that
we're
point.
posing that question now at this point in the season.
Sure.
So
Last one. Isaias, he says, 3 straight losses, $30 million attack missing. The defense is cracking, but why is Nico still pointing at travel? Oh, saying that the travel hurt them going up to
I mean, it does play a factor. You
When
can't lie.
does urgency replace the soft excuses? I don't think they're soft excuses. I think they're valid points to make.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Yeah, it's
I
all
think they were
part of the
valid points to
game,
make.
you know. Like
If he
even-
would have said, "Oh, we're tired," then maybe that's a soft excuse. But it is traveling does suck. Like
And there's a lot that goes into it. Even like how Alex was telling us, like when we're talking about grass and stuff, like he's making decisions as far as like how much to water the grass and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It
So
does
there's a
affect
lot
it.
that goes into it. I don't know, man.
it's hard to say this because they're being paid to play football. They travel and like they don't have to sit and go through TCA like we do. So it's like it's a different experience. Although TSA. What did I say?
TCA.
TCA.
We know what you mean. We know what you mean.
But it's a different. But it is a factor. You cannot say that it's not a factor. It has to be said. You know. And then we played midweek in a game where we had to come back. It was a hard fought comeback. You know, despite the opposition and competition, it was a hard fought game. Then you have to travel away to a team you've never played there before. Nobody
not
has been here.
close.
Exactly. And no,
it's shit.
the team's never been there like ever.
Oh, that's true too.
So everything just
Imagine
takes into
playing in
account. But
Ohio.
Yeah, imagine living in Ohio. That's crazier.
But
But
what do
guys,
they say? When's the last time you heard somebody going on vacation?
But guys, talking about La Liga today, it was a very, very interesting kind of, I guess, finale because this pretty much sets it in stone. Looks like the 2024-2025 La Liga champs is going to be Barcelona. Looks like today the final nail was placed in the coffin for not only Real Madrid, but for Carlo Ancelotti as well, who is on his way out
he's
of the
been
club.
out though, brother.
Xabi Alonso, which I called.
what did
I called
Ancelotti
Xabi
say?
Alonso.
Ancelotti said, "Oh, this is the last Clásico because they didn't qualify for Club World Cup." Or y'all heard him say that?
No, I didn't
He
hear
did say that. He
Wait,
did
wait,
say
wait.
that. He did say that. So he's sending a shot on his way out. I love it. I love it. I mean, that's all you can do.
Oh,
You see what I'm
okay,
saying?
yeah,
It's the last
yeah,
Clásico of the year
yeah,
'cause they didn't qualify. Yeah. Now Barcelona, they defeat Madrid 4-3. It was a very interesting. It was a very offensive match. No defense was played in this game. The worst defense from Real Madrid I've ever seen, maybe since 2017, 2016, when I believe they lost to Tottenham, and I think they had a very poor performance against PSG. They later on went on to win that Champions League. But it was atrocious. I mean, going back to that 7-1 preseason defeat to Atletico, that was pretty bad. But this game against Barcelona was so bad for Madrid. Lucas Vázquez with multiple errors that led to goals. I mean, he's directly attributed to multiple goals tonight. Kylian Mbappe with the hat-trick still isn't enough to defeat this Barcelona side, but he's not the only one. Borja Iglesias had a hat-trick, didn't defeat Barcelona. The player from Dortmund had a hat-trick, they didn't defeat Barcelona. And now Kylian Mbappe, a hat-trick, not enough to defeat Barcelona. But I will say that Madrid didn't have chances. Mbappe gets in the way of a Tchouaméni header that could have been the 4-4. It could have kissed the post and went in. Mbappe is offsides. He gets in the way. Maybe a penalty that wasn't called there for some offsides. But in the end, Barcelona was superior. They won all 4 Clásicos this year. And they scored
16 goals.
16 goals on Madrid. I mean,
crazy.
Is that the first time ever, or is it long?
It's the most goals a team has ever scored on Real Madrid in one season.
in a season.
16.
Yeah, I saw
that is
that.
embarrassing.
that
man.
is crazy.
That's it. But can I have a paper bag to put on my face, bro? Please, somebody. Production, Becky, John. We don't have any.
that is a crazy stat.
Go to
bro.
Walmart. Take my card.
Company card.
Take the Tesla. The Bukari is in the shop. Bugatti is in the shop, so
guy.
we don't have that open for you guys. These guys, they want everything. They want everything. But 4-3, B. What'd you think of it?
I low-key enjoyed it. The game wise, not Real Madrid's demise, but
You did.
The game was great. It was I love these kind of games where it's like both defenses said, "Hey, we're not defending anything."
was a slugfest.
It was a slugfest. Exactly, that's a good one. I love these kind of games. Barcelona and Inter also, that was a slugfest as well. So I enjoyed the game. There was goals. Mbappe getting a hat trick. I mean, Lamine Yamal, bro. Every time I watch him play, I'm like, oh my God, this
Wonder
kid. It like literally every game, I'm like, let me watch the Barca game. What leaves my mind, the number one thing that I leave with that game was like, damn, Lamine Yamal, bro. And it happened again.
Yeah, bro.
And I'm just like, God,
Did you
this
see
kid.
what he said?
Yeah,
Post-match?
bro, I was
Oh,
gonna
what did he
that.
say? What did he say? What did he say? What did he say?
Yeah, he just
So-
said it don't matter how many goals they score, they just can't beat us. Pretty much.
Oh,
right?
okay.
Oh,
he
wait,
said,
say- bring the quote up, bring the quote up.
He's been talking.
Yeah,
He's been talking. So he
Bring the
also
quote.
said,
He can,
he said,
though.
he said this. He said, "Until you, Real Madrid, beat me,
Oh.
you can talk."
4-0, baby.
my
He said that.
God.
He said
He's
that.
feeling
He
good.
said that. And then he
Damn.
also he posted a picture, and in the caption he's calling out Sergio Ramos and Jude Bellingham for liking the post of an Inter de Milan player that he posted with Lamine Yamal on the ground, like with a crying face. Like I guess he got hurt or he fell on the ground and he had like a
You
stupid
want
face.
this kind of beef though, bro, right?
You want this kind of beef,
But
yeah,
not
yeah.
when you're getting
But
smashed.
the
around.
caption, the caption, he's like, "Hey, like this post too."
Oh, fire! Even more of a bro. He's the
good,
guy, bro.
Yeah,
He's
agree,
the guy.
What a player, bro.
What a player. I mean,
Bro,
could, and like it's crazy.
He's
I know
definitely put me through it.
we're talking hypotheticals here, but like if Barça go beat Inter, and they like this is too much of a leap. But to me, it's just crazy how close he could have came to winning a Ballon d'Or at his age, bro.
So who's getting that shout now? Rafinha?
Rafinha's getting it, but I don't.
You don't think Rafinha? I wouldn't say it right away. We'd have to see, bro. I'm telling you, we'd have to see the final. Obviously, it has a big role in the Ballon d'Or. We
Dembele
know
or
this
what?
historically that the Champions League has a big factor.
Dembele?
I'm telling you right now,
Lautaro?
exactly.
Lautaro, maybe.
Oh.
Lautaro,
Maybe.
Dembele, Rafinha.
Maybe.
Lautaro, Dembele, Rafinha, maybe.
I think so, maybe.
Or
But I'm telling you
or
what,
those-
if
or
if
those-
if Dembele goes off in the final,
What about anybody
he's getting
from the Premier League winner?
Mo Salah.
They crashed out the Champions League.
That's
bro.
the thing,
the
bro.
Champions League has
it has a
huge
big
effect.
weight on it.
Yeah,
Yeah, and also apparently your attitude and characteristics.
Only when it was Vini did that matter. Only when it was Vini did that matter.
Apparently it matters now.
Hey,
so
Messi could get it too.
Bro, did you see Messi was man of the match in a 4-1 defeat versus
crazy.
Minnesota?
That's
I did
wild.
not.
Minnesota
I
beat
mean,
their
it
ass
checks
4-1.
out.
And he got man of the
And
match?
He got man of the
It
match.
checks out, you know. So he could win Ballon d'Or, you know.
You know what? Maybe it was Photoshop. I don't know. But,
you got
Like how they listed him as young player of the year.
oh, I think that was Photoshop. I think it was Photoshop. But Jordy posted it. So
Jordy,
I think
yeah.
it was serious. But I don't know. Maybe it could have been a joke. But crash
posted-
out. Real Madrid crashed out this season against Barcelona. Like we said, most goals ever scored against them in a season, 16 by
First
one
hat
club.
trick.
That's
in the El Clasico since
crazy.
95. I
16
saw
is
that too.
crazy.
Really? First hat
Yeah,
trick? Damn.
Mbappe. Wow. What a season Mbappe's having too. I mean,
Season. You know, and I saw a stat today. I didn't know that Ivan Zamorano, El Bamban, which is Diego Rubio's godfather, he holds the record for the most goals scored in his first season with Real Madrid. 37.
oh wow.
Yeah.
Damn, that's fire.
Diego Rubio's godfather, Bamban
Damn.
Zamorano. We
Wait,
asked about it on
doesn't
the podcast.
Mbappe have 39, 38, 39?
No, I don't think.
Mbappe does.
Maybe in La Liga?
Oh,
Maybe
okay,
his first
maybe
season.
in domestic.
I don't know. But it still showed Bamban as the first one, and then Ronaldo was the second with 33, and then Ruud van Nistelrooy was tied
So maybe
with
it's
Ronaldo
all
with
comps
33.
that Mbappe has 30, 38, 39.
Maybe this wasn't Liga.
Maybe.
Maybe. We have to check that stat. Maybe ChatGPT real quick, see what it says. But B, I want to talk a little bit about the Premier League because we saw some very interesting stuff today. The Nottingham Forest stuff. The owner walks onto the pitch. He just absolutely gives his mind to Nuno de Santos, right?
Espirito Santo, yeah.
Espirito Santos. And a lot of folks are talking about it on social media. Do you
going
think that was the
viral.
right thing to do from an owner?
Not a good
What
look,
if
bro.
What if Precourt were to do that to Nico Estevez? You think that
Low-key, I'd
it
be
would
like, hell
crazy?
yeah. I'd be like, bro, we need results.
So,
Like,
so why is it a problem if
It's different because
This guy does it.
because it's different because where Forest were before this season compared to where they are now is insane. I know,
so you're saying he's ungrateful, kind of?
bro. He would have never even. Him dreaming of the opportunity to play for Champions League. He would go absolutely nuts.
But B, don't you think you would have the same reaction if you
yeah,
drop
it's
points against a relegated side?
Leicester
So
City.
is that
Yeah,
who you
that-
were saying?
Yeah, Ivan Zamorano.
So he just passed. Mbappe set the new record.
Oh,
for most
Mbappe
goals
just
scored in
passed
the
him.
debut season, scoring 39. That's
Yeah,
what I
yeah,
saw.
Hey, he got it.
Passed him with 37.
Dang.
So he had 37. That's what I thought I saw.
Someone, I'm sure Rubio knows
Yeah.
That's crazy.
'Cause he's a Madrid fan too, eh?
Today is the day that record was
And it's
broken.
that hat trick, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
First hat trick since in the Clásico since
That's
95. Yeah, I saw a lot of
Damn.
stuff.
History was made
Hey, but
today.
what about
History
that?
was
What
made.
about that Cactus Jack jersey, though?
Oh yeah,
One-
the-
1.9
he was there.
million
He
in
was
an
there.
hour?
I'm so sick of these guys.
$400 retail?
Travis Scott,
Taylor
Karol G,
Swift.
Becky G, Taylor Swift,
Drake,
freaking
Drake. They had the owl.
the
Remember?
Crazy, that was
Beatles. They
wild.
damn near brought back Michael Jackson from the dead to sign a deal. I mean, these guys have no shame.
Hey, that's
I
marketing.
hate Barcelona, bro. I hate it to my gut, bro. To my core, I hate Barcelona.
Is it safe to say?
And they're
Lamine Yamal,
cooking,
though?
bro.
But I try to be as objectified as I can. I mean, they were superior to Real Madrid.
They were definitely
That's a
superior.
good team.
And the memes are crazy, bro.
You think Yamal's gonna stay with Barca? Like a Barca
That's
for
a-
life?
They have to protect them. They have to. They have to
right?
protect
We'll
them.
see.
And I think Barca is in a better financial state now than where they've been because they were in places where they had to sell.
they were-
players.
That's the Travis Scott, right?
Yeah,
That's
they
the
had
financial-
levers, bro.
That's
They
what
were.
those things do. Those
Yeah,
things,
exactly.
and that's why I hate it because every year it's like, yes, Barcelona's going to be the next AC Milan. Remember the AC
Yeah,
Milan era?
yeah, yeah. Nope.
They're saved, bro.
Nope. They're saved.
I don't know how
They're
they did it. They did a deal with
they
somebody
sold their
more
soul,
over there.
bro. They sold.
They sold their soul. They literally sold their soul. Actually, the next 20 years are sold, right? I think that's.
I mean, it seems like in a weird way they got Lamine Yamal. I mean, he could be the next. He
But,
could be the
hey,
next guy.
They made it out. They're probably going to be
But-
champions of La Liga.
Yeah.
But guess what? They don't have
A-
a Champions League since 2015.
Dang,
That's
that's the
going to
one
hang
thing.
on your head for a long time, and I hope it does. I hope you can't
You,
sleep.
you don't think they can run it back?
I hope you can't sleep thinking about the Champions League. I
They'll be
really
sleeping
do.
well
He's
with La
only gonna
Liga
get
title.
better, though.
They'll be sleeping well with La Liga title
Yeah,
and the
they've
Copa
had La
del Rey
Liga, they've
title.
had Copa del Rey, blah, 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 but what they want is the Champions
Yeah,
League. And guess who has the most? Real Madrid. And you can't. You hate that stat. You hate that. And guess what? Your last one was in 2015, and you ain't even sniffing one.
How many did y'all get in
That's
the
it.
50s?
5.
Five,
Hey,
bro.
look those up. Hey, if you're listening,
No,
look those up,
son, no.
and you're gonna
Cut that.
look those up and add us on Twitter.
Cut
Please, I'm
that.
begging you. Look up Real Madrid's. Let me call the fans right now. Look up Real Madrid's first 5 Champions Leagues and learn the history of that, and then add us.
Cut that, bro. Okay, fine. Take those 5 out. Still got most. Still got 10.
that is the thing.
Still got 10.
That's the
You know what I'm
thing.
saying?
That's the thing,
it's
bro.
all good. Take them. We don't take them. We
Man,
still
I'm
got
trying
10.
to at least Chelsea over here trying to get in the
Nah,
Champions
facts.
League, bro.
That's
so
a proper race.
that's
for
why
sure.
the Forest owner was out of pocket doing that, bro.
No,
out of pocket doing
I
that.
saw some comments where folks were saying, "Hey, he's Greek. This is what they do. They're very expressive."
okay,
You know what
okay,
I'm saying?
okay,
Like, you know,
okay.
Greek. They're not Italians, but think about like the Sopranos.
Yeah.
Gabagool. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Very animated.
yeah.
You know, they're very,
I get it.
Folks were saying, and
Okay.
honestly, this owner has been famous for that, bro.
Okay.
This owner is always doing something out of pocket. I've seen him in the news multiple times.
But the fact that they were second, oh no, they were third with a nice little gap. The fact that they're now 7th or 6th, I believe, they've been on the decline, and they're doing it on the most important time, which is right now. It's
Games left. There's 2 games left.
There's 2 games left, and guess who, bro? Let me paint this picture. People that are okay. Forest right now are 7th. They're 7th from when they were 3rd with a small gap. Now they're in 7th, but they play Chelsea on the final day of the Premier League. So it could come down to whoever wins that game gets Champions League. You know,
Damn, really?
Chelsea.
Is it top 4 or top 5?
It's top 5 this year.
Oh, it is?
It's so even with an extra spot, the race is crazy.
That's the Premier League for you.
okay. That's
the
Damn,
Premier
Nottingham
League.
is in 7th. Yeah, I see that here on screen.
And they
with
were
62
third.
points.
They were up, bro. They were like
Everybody
almost
was dropping
guaranteed
points.
it.
Everybody
And now they've
dropping
fallen off. Newcastle beat Chelsea today 2-0. So that hurt, but thanks to Forest dropping points, thanks to City dropping
we
points,
tied with
Thanks to
Southampton,
say-
bro.
thanks to City and Forest dropping points, we're still in this thing. So
Yeah.
so we'll see. We got United next. I know they're in the Europa League final
Now,
as well.
be real quick. America eliminates Pachuca from Liguilla. How did that feel? How did that taste? The tears of the Pachuca fans. I mean, after all the mess they talked, Pa Pachuca this, Pa Pachuca
And it's crazy
that.
how like the guy in the chat that was talking all that is MIA.
The guy in the chat?
Yeah, the guy in the chat who was talking crazy is nowhere to be found. That to me, you know, I could
says
say
a lot.
something.
It
I
says
could
a-
say something,
Oh.
but you know what? I'm not gonna be that guy. You know what I mean?
Because you've been here before.
I've been here before, brother. You know, your guy's about to retire. You know, so enjoy while you can. This is our prime right
You
now.
think America's going to go get the fourth?
Oh, of course, bro.
You really
I think
think
so.
that?
I think so. I think it doesn't even matter if Cruz Azul is the team we play. They play today, by the way.
Toluca stands in the way, too.
Toluca's on the other side, though.
Toluca, yeah, but they can stand in the
They
way
could
of
be
the
a Toluca.
final.
I tell you what, a Toluca America final, banger final.
Banger final.
It's
Banger
proper final. Proper final.
This season, it would be a proper final.
yeah,
They've
but-
been two good teams.
Pachuca.
Alexis Nalgón Vega, Big Booty Vega. Big Booty Vega.
Is that his nickname? I didn't know they called him that.
It's because one time when he was with Chivas, he scored a goal and he was trying to like fix his shirt and he accidentally pulls down his shorts and he shows his butt to the TV and it was plump. It was plump. Streets.
But all I gotta say is Pachuca, Pachucasa, bro. Pachucasa, bro.
Okay, Galaxy loses 0-7 to the New York Red Bulls. Things are downhill for Austin FC, but you could be the LA Galaxy.
Yeah, bro.
Logan, go in on that.
Not to mention it's a MLS rematch, the MLS Cup rematch.
Yeah.
Like, that's embarrassing. If people are talking about pulling the plug, if Greg Vanny size a job, man, is crazy.
No wins so far.
It's almost like they won the cup. We're like, all right, we're done.
I'm gonna head out.
I'm done. We're done. We're just chilling out.
But you know what's a harsh reality, bro? They're being affected by the MLS budget rules, by the salary cap. Because, I don't want to attribute just the one person.
I mean, they had the salary, they had the players to win the cup.
Yes. But when they took on Fagundes' salary with the 1.2 or 1.3 that they went up to, it destabilized a couple of things in the financial sector. And, it was like a domino thing.
So it's on Fagu's contract?
No. That's what I said. I don't want to put it on one thing.
It seemed like it.
No. It's on Galaxy because they made the decision to pick up this contract. It's not like, it was just, Fagu chose the Galaxy. No, they chose it. They knew it was coming.
Yeah.
And because of these decisions that they made in the financial department, they had to get rid of their captain and their MVP of the final. They sent him to Nashville. They sold Jovic to Kansas City.
They send the Cruz Azul?
Bogus, but he was from LAFC. Bogus was from LAFC.
Okay.
But yeah, the
my LA team.
So they gambled. They put all the chips in to win the MLS Cup, but not knowing how they were going to fix this after.
They also don't have Puig.
Yeah,
Puig is in.
yeah.
They also don't have Ricky Puig.
So they're like, we'll worry about it later. It's like when you go on vacation, but you only have just enough for the vacation. So when you come back from vacation, you're broke as hell.
But 12 winless is crazy. 12 winless is crazy. Can you imagine this fan base, 12 winless?
No. Riots would be held. Riots would be at Q Stadium.
Imagine that. No, there'd be something would pop off.
There's no way we would have it. Honestly, look, I know folks are saying that there's an overreaction, that folks are, that they're being harsh or whatnot. I love that this club has standards in the fan base. The fan base has already been through X amount of emotions with the previous manager. I love that the fan base has standards for itself.
But bro, out of all the seasons we've had, like one season, which is our second one, which was great. That's it. Like the standards are high, but like it's not looking good right now. Like,
I see what you're saying.
But I do see what you're saying as well. Is like we have a high standard here. You could see, you could feel it.
Now, last but not least, Inter de Milan will face PSG in the Champions League final.
Banger.
Gentlemen, thoughts on this one? I actually really like that it's two very different teams.
That's what I said, remember?
A long time, yeah.
When Real Madrid exited, I was like, damn, okay, now.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it is a little boring in the Champions League without Madrid because they bring that like drama factor or whatnot. But I like the fact
you see what I'm saying?
I like the fact that PSG and Inter.
I was trying to look back. Has PSG ever won it?
No, they've never won it. No, they've never won it.
That's why they've been so criticized.
They were in the final versus Bayern Munich for the COVID one, where they
lost.
And they lost
the last time
Neymar.
they played City, right?
No. That was it. Because of that final, they're in the Club World Cup because of that final.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But PSG, of course, in the Champions League against Inter de Milan. Now, who are you guys going with?
I mean,
it's tough to say. I want to lean towards how do I PSG? We know that their background. We know what they are. We know the kind of club that they are.
One could say that they were built for the Champions League.
Exactly. They threw in an absurd amount of money for this competition. They brought Messi, Mbappe, and Neymar together
Sergio Ramos.
Afterthought. But anyways, they did that. to win this competition, they're gone.
Yeah.
Mbappe leaves and now they're in the final. But we also know how the club is, right? I'm talking about how all that. And then you see Inter, who are more of a... PSG has history, don't get me wrong. But Inter is like a different kind of history. It's
aura.
It's aura to their club. So you would want to side with them. But me personally, I think I want to. I think PSG is going to take it.
If you ever want to think, if you ever wonder, like, what's Inter's history? Look at this famous clip when they're playing AC Milan, and look at the star, the names behind the jerseys, and the atmosphere of the San Siro when Inter plays AC. I mean, some of the best players in the history of football have crossed through the Milan teams.
And I'm not saying PSG doesn't have history; they do, but it's a different kind. And so
who are you going with?
I think I'm gonna just go with PSG, bro.
Really?
Let's just Dembele's run is crazy. His comeback from Barcelona, the fact that
His
Mbappe
comeback from injuries, man.
his comeback from injuries, his comeback from Barcelona, the fact that Mbappe's first season's out, the fact that Enrique, which I fancy him. Before we got Maresca, I fancied Enrique to come to Chelsea. I fancy him, and then just the fact that they've never won it, I go for PSG, bro.
Who are you going with, mate?
I mean, it'd be nice to see PSG get it, especially without, like you're saying, all the star players that we're mentioning, Messi, Mbappe, Neymar. So, yeah, I don't really have a preference, but yeah, PSG for sure.
PSG?
I'm going with PSG.
Yeah.
Now, I'm no Barcelona fan. You heard my crash out a couple minutes ago talking about El Clásico. But in recent months, recent weeks, I've been very, very fond of Luis Enrique. And he's been talking about his daughter, about how he wants to recreate an image that he has with his daughter in the 2015 final, the last time Barcelona won it when he was the head coach, when they won it in Berlin. Him and his daughter, they're planting a Barcelona flag in half field, and his daughter passed away when she was 9 years old to some disease.
Sad, bro.
And he's pretty much saying how he mentally recuperated himself, like his family is okay, like they don't take it as a loss, they see it as a blessing, like she's still there for them. Spiritually, emotionally, physically, she's not there anymore. But I shared the clip onto my story.
So he speaks on it.
The other day. He has spoke on it post-match press conference, and he's pretty much saying that that's like his number one ambition. And I feel like the PSG players are using that as kind of fuel also. I mean, it's
the stars are gone,
It's
bro.
easy to play for your manager when there's something like that to fight for. You know what I'm saying?
And also, you Enrique, you fancy him like.
And also one thing, the research that I've been doing into Luis himself, the criticism that he had on Mbappe, I'm seeing it play out in Real Madrid this season, bro. It's no surprise to me that Kylian Mbappe is out of PSG and they're in a Champions League final. Because in PSG, Luis was trying to get him to defend from the front, and he wasn't that guy. He kept thinking that he was the Jordan of a team, that he was the superstar of the team. And yes, he is, but you still have to defend. And Luis Enrique was saying, once a player gets into that mindset, you lost him. You know what I'm saying? Once he thinks that he doesn't have to defend, it's game gone. And he said, and this is on film, he said he was all like, last year, I couldn't control every bit of situations on the field because Kylian Mbappe would move freely up top. So there were situations where I couldn't control. He said, this year coming up, I'm going to control every single bit of every single game.
But didn't he not go to the perfect club for that?
Who?
Real Madrid.
Kylian, I mean, well, look at what.
Look at Vini. Look at Real Madrid players. That's the whole point of Real Madrid. Is like they play on vibes, not tactics. Like they play on the fact that they're the. Okay, that's harsh. That's harsh to say that.
I say depending on the manager. But I know what you mean.
But I'm just being extremist about it. But he went to the place where you would think that's where he's gonna be.
I feel like he's gonna get a wake up call with Xavi.
Well,
Xavi Alonso.
Is Xavi gonna make Vini do that then? Is Xavi gonna make Mbappe? Like, how can you approach Real Madrid? You can't be that guy with the iron fist.
Look, what I like about Xavi,
in my opinion, I'm not a Madrid fan.
What I like about Xavi is that he's gonna bring back the philosophy of the early 2010s when he was there. The young Sergio Ramos, the young CR7s, the young Bale days, the young Modric days, the Kaká days, Khedira, right?
Yeah.
I feel like these young lads have drifted away from the Real Madrid DNA or the Real Madrid mindset. I feel like they think they know what it is, but they're not living it through their veins. And Xavi Alonso is just going to come and apply that philosophy. Whether they take his teachings or not, we see what he did with Leverkusen.
Yeah.
Let's see what he can do with Real Madrid in La Liga and in Europe.
But that's why that's why I'm siding with PSG because of Enrique, bro.
But all right, guys, I think we can cut off there. Lots of topics here in tonight's episode. Of course.
And last thing I wanted to say, I did look up ChatGPT Classic. I think you're right. It's something widely respected, influential, and enjoyable. And that was not enjoyable.
That was not enjoyable. The comeback was.
But Even that. But what I meant
lost
by
my voice.
instant classic is memorable. So I guess I just changed that.
Bro, I'm still gaining my voice back from that night. I'm dead serious. Like,
For all the boos you did.
No, from
I heard he started
Bro,
the booze.
Mirtu's golazo, it set me off.
Yelling, "Where's Wolff?"
Where's, I
Probably
was
had a
saying
lot
it.
to
I
do
was
with
saying,
it.
where's Wolff? Wait, I was calling for young Owen. Wait, and we got him, and the rest is history. Thank you, El Paso. We'll see you next time. But all right, guys, like I said, that's it. We'll cut it off there. We'll be back to review the midweek game against Atlanta and also the home game against Vancouver as well. 2 back-to-back home games. Lots to talk about. Month of May is really working us here at the Top Flight Podcast Studios. But hopefully you enjoyed our coverage. Hopefully you enjoyed the content that we've been posting. Make sure to follow us on social media. Join the Patreon. You get access to the Discord that everybody is talking about. The conversation is fun. It's silly. It's tactical. It's analytical. It's everything that X used to be. I'll say that.
Shout out to the Discord, man.
I'll say it's everything X used to be. Because Twitter kind of fell off. It
X.
kind of did. X. But all right,
Yeah,
y'all.
it did.
We'll see you soon. Have a good night. Have a good day.